Hey YouTube, this is Colin once again. The topic of this video is a rebuttal to Sean's video entitled Evil Islam Created by Satan, and in the parentheses, the Devil. This video is very interesting, made by Sean. He tries to prove that Islam is evil in about 10% of the video. Then he spends basically the 90% of the video trying to convince, I'm assuming Muslim, but I guess we should throw in Jews as well into the mix with this, that God can incarnate or come to earth and we can see him. He spends most of his video doing this. I'm going to start. This might be in two parts, just for the sake of time. But I'm going to start with his 10% of trying to prove Islam is evil. Now, he does make a sequel to this video. He did this out of anger. He complained in his second video that someone flagged this video that I'm rebuttaling to, and in anger, well, he wasn't really angry, but he said, basically, you flagged my video, so I'm going to make this video, and he really went a little too far, in my opinion. But that's his opinion, so there we go. But in this video, he says that, according to Paul, in Corinthians, he quotes Paul saying that Satan can appear as an angel of light. And so therefore he says that Muhammad saw what he thought was Gabriel, because it said, I am Gabriel, and therefore Sean raises the point that that could have been Satan. Well, first off, there's a couple problems with that. One, what Sean is doing is he's mixing Christian theology with Islamic theology. In Christianity, indeed, angels, according to Sean, and I'm assuming he's a spokesperson for Christianity, angels are light. In Islam, angels are also light. However, if you know anything about Islamic theology and the Quran and the Hadiths, Satan is not a being of light, he's a being of fire. So if Satan were to appear to Muhammad, he would be a being of fire, not of light. And so that's the first problem when you breed theologies or you mix theologies in a cesspool. But okay, so let's just assume for a second that Satan did in fact meet up with Muhammad. You'd have to ask that objectional question with this. Well, when the angel Gabriel visited Mary, the mother of Jesus, how do we know that that wasn't Satan? Or how do we know that when the angel of the Lord visited, Samson, that that wasn't Satan? I mean, if you're going to use this argument for one prophet, then why not use it for every person who's met an angel? How do we know that they met an angel? How do we know they're not crazy? I mean, these are things that we need to ask. You shouldn't just limit it to Muhammad. To do that's, well, of course, very bigoted, but, right. Then you go on to say something about the book of Revelation. You're complaining that Muhammad brought something new, a new religion, a new book. And then you complain that because in the book of Revelations, chapter 22, verse 18, that it says, to 19, it says, if anybody adds or takes away from this book of prophecies, the curses of Egypt, the 10 plagues will be upon him, whoever does this. Well, what's kind of humorous about Christians using this opinion of the book of Revelations by saying this quote is that they assume that when it talks about this book, they assume it means the Bible. However, if you know anything about what the Bible, what form the Bible was in, the Bible was never, until they made the Septuagint, was one book. It was a library. That's why they call it the Book of Revelation. And in the Bible, it's called the Book of Revelation. So obviously what the author of the Book of Revelation is referring to is the Book of Revelation, not the Bible as a whole. And this book I have right here, From Jesus to Christianity, written by L. Michael White, he traces the history in one of the chapters about the book of Revelation, and he mentions that even people who were monks who were making copies of the book of Revelation, added and took certain verses and changed certain verses in their copying, and they didn't suffer the 10 plagues. And I know that's kind of a ridiculous argument, but I'm just saying that, he even mentions that the book of Revelation was an independent story, and it was not part of the Bible. In fact, there were certain groups of Christians who did not want the book of Revelation in the Bible. They wanted the Apocalypse of Peter to be in the Bible, to be the end part of the New Testament, and not the book of Revelation. So obviously, you're confusing this verse with meaning the entire Holy Bible when it's just talking about the book itself, the book of Revelation. Then you go on to say that that there's only one gospel, and that Jesus brought the gospel, and that Muhammad can't bring any more gospels. But then you kind of change your words around. You say gospel, and then revelation, and then you say message. But Muhammad never professed to bring the gospel, in Arabic, the Injil, translated as the good news. He brought this the revelation called the Quran. And so for you to say that he brought more gospel, that's not what he brought. In fact, there's many times in the Quran where God says, we gave to Moses the Torah, we gave to Jesus the Injil, the gospel, and to you we're giving the Quran. And so that seems a little, far-fetched on your part, as far as saying that he intentionally meant to bring a new gospel. Did he bring a new message and a new revelation? Yes, he did. But you interchange your words. You say gospel, revelation, so you need to choose which one you're arguing for. And then you say in Deuteronomy chapter 13, verse 1, that you complain that in this verse it says that God warns about false prophets having you worship other gods. And so you say that Allah is not God, that no one ever called God Allah in the Bible at any time, anywhere. None of the prophets did that, from Adam to, if you consider Adam a prophet, of Moses, etc. There are many people who have done videos showing the linguistic similarities between Allah and Elul, or Alehu, Elohim. And you're Jewish, that's what you said, so I assume that you sort of know what I'm talking about here, even if you don't agree with it. However, I'm sure you know that Arabic Christians and Arab Jews say Allah, and they publish Allah in their Bibles. So I don't know where you're getting this idea that Allah is not God. According to the Arabic Jews and Christians, they think Allah is God. They call him that. In any language, in any linguistic area, they have a different name for God. They pronounce names differently depending on their religion. And then you say Allah was a moon god, and that's not really true either.